Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to try and not overthink things as a producer. Sometimes you get caught up in trying to get the perfect sound, but really all you need to do is just follow your gut, follow your instinct, just make quick decisions on what sounds you need in the track that you're making, and you'll see making beats will become a whole lot easier, and you'll be less worried about what's going to come next, and you just kind of go with the vibe and feeling of the track that you're currently in. So with that said, let's jump right into it. Sometimes I just jump into Logic loops, and today we're just going to go ahead and jump into Logic Apple loops and just pick some loops and just make a beat off of that. And so I'm going to start off trying to find a guitar sound. What I like to do is just cycle through some sounds until something catches my attention, and then I work off of that. All right, so we're going to take that sound right there. I like the strum on that. So I'm going to take that, drag it in. All right, and we're going to impo the tempo information shirt. I'm going to change my key to the G minor that this loop is already in. So let's go to G minor over here. And let's give ourselves, a 4-bar loop. We get this. Now I'm going to make this double time for like a trap beat. So I'm going to go 180. And this is obviously going to be too fast. Then I'm going to go over to our inspector tab over here. I'm going to select down more. And where it says speed, I'm going to go to halftime. So it stretches it out over longer. Double the bars for halftime. I'm just going to start off with that. Next, let's go to... I'm going to bring in a hi-hat from the 2022 kit. I'm going to take this fire hi-hat. I'm going to go to Drum Machine Designer. And I'm going to draw in a pattern region. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do here is just gonna bring in an open hat. I usually like to work with the hi-hat and then open hat, and it sort of builds off the loop and gives you like a bounce that I'm looking for this type of song. So let's go to 22 or to work off of that guitar sound. I'm gonna take this saucy open hat here. I'm gonna bring it into my Drum Machine Designer, and let's just play around, see where we can put it here. I'm going to take this Jet Setter Perc over here, put that in. I'm going to use that as my snare sound. So right now we got a simple beat going, and you really want to keep asking yourself as you're adding more sounds in, 1, do you need the sound? And 2, what would you want to hear in this type of vibe, in this type of track next to be layered with these sounds currently? So with this guitar over here, I'm hearing like a counter guitar melody happening in the background. So for that, I'm going to go back to my loop browser here, and I'm just going to cycle through until we find another guitar sound. So I'm just going to solo that out and play through some stuff. Not bad. You really just want to trust your instinct. Pick something that you like. All right, so that kind of works. So I'm just going to drag that in. This is in C minor, but it's going to automatically convert it to a G minor, so it matches our loop that we already have. So I'm going to drag that in. We get this. So the next thing we're gonna do right here is group these two tracks together. And I'm just gonna manipulate these two sounds to make them sound like one sort of bed track. And I'm gonna bring an instance of my plugin Wavy. And I'm just gonna give this a more of like a sort of wavier type of vibe. So I'm gonna turn on Ignite just to start things off. Give some reverb. Apply some Swarm. That's without it. With it. Just gives it like a wavier type of vibe. Then we can mix that in with our drum so far. It just adds nice layers to the sounds. Just make it a little bit fuller, a little bit thicker. Next, I'm thinking we jump right into the 808 here. So let's go back to our 2022 kit. Go to 808s over here. And I really like the Cheddar 808 from this one, so I'm going to bring that in, go to our Drum Machine Designer. So instead of using a piano roll here to step input our notes, I'm going to create a pattern region over here. And I'm going to go to our pattern browser over here, go to Templates. I'm going to go to Chromatic 2 Octave. And this way we can go ahead and change this grid here to have more notes available in case we want to go up and down the scale. And since our session is set to a G minor, the scale within this pattern is set to G minor as well, as you can tell by the notes. So I'm going to go over to our root note here of our scale. And we'll go to the lower one here. We'll push this down 1 octave. Let's change this to an 8th grid. Let's stretch this out a bit with 32 notes. I'm able to do something simple like that, but on this 808, I want to make it a little bit more punchier. So I'm going to bring in Logic's Fat Effects. And I'm just going to turn off all of these settings here. I still got to make a preset for me to initialize this thing here. And I'm just going to pull up this. Added some soft clipping just to make that a little bit fuller. All right, next, let's go ahead and maybe put in some Perc sounds. All right, next, let's go ahead and bring in another sound here. I'm gonna bring in like a Vox sound. This is just a classic Vox sound that you need in your toolkit. And let's create another pattern region on this. Maybe I'll change this up and I'll put it just at the last bit. So let's take that out. All right, next, let's go back here. Maybe we'll add in a kick now because that's what I'm feeling this drum kit is going to. Change that to 32 steps. Maybe to fill out this drum kit, I'm going to bring in a snare sound. Change to 32 steps. All right, next on this one, I'm thinking sort of like some spacey type of vocal to go on top of this guitar. That's what I would imagine if this song was a big hit. I'd imagine this sound would be in there somewhere. So let's just go back into the loops here. I'm going to close out our browser and I'm going to go to vocals this time, if I can find it. And once again, we just play through until we find something here.
This man.
Or maybe that can work. Let's bring that in. Once again, just if something works, you can see if it could fit in quickly. Put it with this group here. I'll take that out. All right, now I'm thinking we probably need some sort of synth lead, another counter melody on top of this. And once again, it has to be airy, has to be vibey, has to fit sort of the style that we're going for here. So next, let's go close this out. Maybe we'll go to synth and just start playing through some stuff. Except on this one, I'm just going to solo our instrument section. I think this can work actually. Let's drag that in. Let's put it with our group here and see how that sounds. All right, and that's, I think, pretty much it. Next would just be a nice vocal in there to get on top of it, and you got yourself a beat. Don't think too much, don't add too much crazy things. If you're trying to add more sounds in and you're finding it difficult to place in the mix, usually that means you don't need that sound. You just take it out. If it's that hard to place into it, it should just be instinctual. It should be once you put it in, it feels good. Just sort of like the sounds we've added here. So I'm going to go ahead, arrange this into a quick instrumental, and then we'll play out our final beat. So cue the time lapse of me turning this into a quick instrumental. All right, so there is the beat right there. You can find this Logic session down in the description box below this video for your download and play around with. A few takeaways from this video is don't overthink your beats. Easier said than done, but the more you sort of put yourself into the beat and really think about what sounds you would want from this type of song, making beats becomes a whole lot easier. A lot of times I found in my history while making beats, I used to make beats and then close the session right away, not even save it because I got frustrated, nothing could work, nothing can fit. But if you just keep the song on loop, start adding stuff, and if it fits and if it works and it meshes, then it's meant to stay. If you're trying to force it in there, it's not meant to be. Take that sound out and just carry on. Make quick decisions, don't overthink what you're doing, and the whole beat making process will be a lot more organic and fun, and your song will sound more cohesive because you're making those quick decisions on what you would imagine the song that you're making needs, if that makes sense. But on that, I'll see you all in the next one. Later.